Uh, let's start from the beginning, but let's see if I have a good signal.
Okay.
I do that thing where you used to go testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing.
1, 2, 3.
I still do that.
That's all right. Use your own.
Let's see if my internet is the internet is slow here. Anyway, I think it's working. Okay, let's see. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, clap, clap, clap. Anyway. Okay, we got something. Okay, let's see. Finally! Okay, so this is the Note to Self podcast, episode 16. And today's date is, Tuesday, Tuesday, January 25th, 2022. The time is 5:57 p.m. And I have a special guest and my first guest on my podcast, which is my grandpa. That sounded scary. Okay, so what year were you born?
1934.
And you say you was born in Augusta, Georgia. No, Augusta. Wait, Aiken.
Aiken, South Carolina.
Yeah, Aiken, South Carolina.
Raised
In Augusta. What else?
until 17.
Until 17, and you fought in a war. Should we take it from the beginning, or you can go however you want to do it?
Yeah. Well, I cooked in the war.
Mhm.
No, but all jokes aside, I was in the Korean War, and it looked like they're about to do it again.
Yeah, but that's in Ukraine, in Russia, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the people who participated in that war
Mhm.
is the one that participated in the one I was in. You know,
Did you know that there was a war going on before you got? Well, did you voluntarily went into the?
yeah, I volunteered because if I hadn't have volunteered,
Mhm.
I'd probably been dead by now.
Why you say that?
Because back in those days,
Mhm.
when a black man became 18, they would draft you and send you to the front lines. And usually you would get wounded or you'd die, you'd get shot all up in, that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying this happened all the time, but majority of the time.
Mhm.
So what we would do is when we get 17, we would join something. We would join something so that at least we could avoid dying right away.
I don't want to laugh.
Because it was pretty. No, because I mean, it's funny now, but it wasn't then.
What's crazy is I never thought with my generation that we would have like a mandatory draft again. And a lot of attitudes that we have is if we even have a war, then we're not gonna do it. That's kind of how we feel. At least me, if there's a war going on, I don't want to go. I don't care. And now they can say well, there's women that join the army now, like the military and stuff. But I don't think it's mandatory. But now they're making it mandatory. It's just scary.
Yeah. Well, the deal is, see, one thing about this democratic system,
Mhm.
and is they say everybody you got a fair chance and blah blah blah. You have a Republican Party and you have a Democratic Party and all this, and you got specialties out of those each one of those parties. you know, just like the guy that's holding up the president now from doing certain things, you know. So my whole problem with this situation is, hey, yeah, like the the guy that's from, where is he from? Virginia. That what's his name? Owens. I forget what his name. That keep holding the president back when they were trying, the president party trying to put over stuff. Oh yeah, they were trying to do that thing from, was it Georgia?
Grandpa, I don't follow politics.
Oh, you don't follow. Well, anyway, they have a thing on that the black people on Sunday, they used to be, you know, they used singing and doing the gospel stuff and everything, and they would vote, you know, in a group and stuff like that, and they made a good thing out of it, you know. It's I don't know, something like a party, you know, party thing.
Mm-hmm.
They having so much fun, so that white people don't, don't want them to have that, so they keep fighting against it. So every time that he would bring, now the black people put him in office, the president,
Who, Biden?
yeah, they the one that pushed it over, pushed it for, you know, without them, without the black people, he wouldn't be in there now, you know.
That's true.
So the deal is that's you know. So he's trying to help. He's trying to do some helping, and and this guy from, I think he's,
We're supposed to be talking about your life story.
oh yeah, okay. Well, getting back,
1934.
getting back off my life, getting back to my life story. No, we just got off a little bit because I started thinking about. See, Muhammad Ali was my hero, you know. And the deal, we start talking about NATO.
NATO,
Yeah, that's NATO. The
North America,
yeah.
Europe, and Mexico, and Canada.
We were talking about those people. See, when I went in, I was a part of that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's back now. This is Russia is having a problem with them. Now it's just, you know.
Yeah, history repeats itself.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. That's beautiful. Beautifully said.
But like one thing that I like by what Einstein said, he said the next war, I don't know what he said. He said after we have this third war, the only thing that we're gonna be fighting with is sticks and rocks.
Yeah.
Cause I think like yeah, it's called, was it mutual destruction or something like that. Cause ain't nobody trying to fight on ground like if we have like now that we have nukes and stuff. But back to life story.
Yeah. Okay. And anyway, after Michelle came and got us out of the orphan home.
Mhm. You need a tissue.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
After Michelle came and got us out of the orphan home.
Mhm.
And took us to her home, and raised us until my brother got pneumonia and passed, and I left at 17.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not 17, 18. I had to do the thing, volunteer. I really didn't want to go. I wanted to hang a little while longer because I had this girl I wanted to hang out with. Anyway,
What? Who's the girl?
And I married her.
Oh, that's your first wife?
Yeah, she lived on Watkin and I lived on Walker. And that was Jean Green's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 but I was a wild dude, you know. So I wasn't no good for her.
Did you have a certain style back then?
Yeah, I was a kissing bandit.
Kissing bandit?
Yeah.
Did you wear a leather jacket?
No, it was, you know, I just grew my hair out there, like that, and
An afro?
no, the other way. I wore bushy coming out of the front,
Mm-hmm.
coming out, and the deal is it wasn't afro because I didn't I didn't see many black people, tell you the truth.
In Augusta?
In Augusta, yeah, I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
many black people. I just saw the ones that, you know, that was around me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to when I went to the Air Force, you know, I went over to what's that? Keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking. I had a text message. And someone put a like on our video, like we're live.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're live. So let me tell them thank you. Thank you, whoever put the like in here. Someone likes your story so far.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, when I went to where was I? I forgot where I was at.
Not much black people in Augusta.
Yeah, it's a few there, but mostly white, and a lot of black people didn't really want to be black. They wanted to be white, purple.
Purple?
They didn't want to either one. They didn't want to be black. Want to be anything but black.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, but the deal was we learned better later.
Is that around the was it the Black Power movement or whatever? When people had afros and stuff like that? That's
No, that was before. That was afterwards.
after.
That came out. That came. I think that. No, that was before. Because when I went in, when I was in they called it grade school. They don't call it grade school no more. But when I was in grade school, when that stuff was coming out, I remember my mother. My mother came to visit her. Well, there wasn't no us anymore. Just came to visit me, and I was down putting on my uniform, my Scout's uniform that I couldn't wear yet. But I was trying it on and everything, putting on.
Boy Scout?
Yeah, Boy Scout. And my mother was there with the little girl, and she looked at it and she told Miss Stills, she said, don't you feel sorry for him? And Miss Stills, I don't remember exactly what Miss Stills said, but she usually was, you know, she usually would say stuff like, he's all right, you know, because she was a hard old woman, but she was a good woman. She was a religious black woman, and she could iron a shirt better than the people that do that for a living.
She put starch on the shirt?
Oh man, she was under her bed. She had these big tubs of these these tubs. I don't know if you've seen them. The big tubs.
The washing tub?
Yeah, washing tubs. Because we used to take baths in those. Those was our bathtubs. And when we ran from her, she used she used that catwalk to run in. We would run in her room and run in her bed. She had these tall beds. They had long legs on them, and you could almost stand up under there. We run under there like we stupid. And those washing tubs was on the other end. We didn't never think about that. She put them on one end, and we run from that end, and boom, right into the tub. She tear our butt up with the thing, with the catwalk.
Jeez.
But she was a nice lady. She took care. I was a rough dude, and she took care of me. She took care of me up into my teens.
Mhm. Did you feel bad when you had to go off to war?
I was calming down there, but me and Freddie were good friends, and we took care of each other. You know,
How'd you meet Freddie?
from school, high school. I not what you call the school before high school, grade school,
Middle school?
middle school. Yeah,
Yeah.
that yeah, we would do that. That's when my mother died when I was in middle school. I was in sixth grade or seventh grade, something like that. And they came and said, the principal would like to see Mr. Curtis.
Mhm.
She said, okay, go ahead. They took me up there, and the guy told me that she had passed. And it wasn't too bad because I didn't see her anyway, you know.
This was after your brother passed?
Yeah.
That was back to back?
No, it was he. You see, he passed when I think what about 8 years old,
Mhm.
something like that. But I remember sitting in the funeral home,
Mhm.
and he was on the table, and the short pants and the short sort of nickels. I think they called them nickels back in those days. And I remember he was on the long table,
Mhm.
and they had a bench on the other side, and I was sitting on the bench, and I was looking back and forth. I don't know what I was looking for. I guess I was looking for somebody to come, you know. But
You were in there by yourself?
no, it was people there, but it wasn't no children there. You know, I was the only kid there, beside my brother,
Mhm.
and I was looking, and next thing, see, it hurt me so bad when that happened. But at first, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You don't feel it. At night, you be trying to try to dream so you can see his face or his voice. You know, make dreams come.
Mhm.
Because because he used to say, "Hey Junior, let's go up to the AMP. Hey Junior, let's go here. Let's go do what we did Saturday." You know, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I was always taking care of him. You know, because I'm my little brother. One time he said we were upstairs in the bed, just him and I,
Mhm.
and and he woke up and he said, "Junior, Junior, Junior." I said, "What?" He said, "I'm hungry." And I didn't sit, and I got up and I went over to the oven to get the stove, the electric stove thing.
Mhm.
I went over there, and there was a frying pan on the stove, and and it was a meal, and I took it and I mixed it with water, and everything, and made a paste, and put it under the thing, and turned the heat on it, and cooked it, and it made a beautiful crust, and we ate it like
Just water and flour.
yeah, yeah.
It's plain.
It tastes good though, because we ate every bit of it.
Mhm.
But I remember when I was leading Mr. Alexander, 'cause that's what I used to do when I was that age, you know, and everything Johnny was around.
Mhm.
I used to lead the blind man. And if it started raining or anything like that, still used to tell me that Johnny would always run over to him and say, is Junior gonna be all right? Miss Stanley, is he all right? Is you know? I mean, you know, and and I grew up coming up and thinking that he was the only one that loved me out of my family. You know, that family love.
Mhm.
That he was the only one that loved me, and it kind of hurts you when that person passes. You know, imagine that you're a little kid, and then the kid, you know, that's your family.
Mhm.
Then he goes, and you got no family no more. Then besides that, your mother died. You know.
I remember you telling me like all they had to do was sit him up.
Yeah, he had pneumonia,
Mhm.
and that pneumonia killed. You know, that's drowning. You drown in your own fluid.
In your lungs.
Yeah. So all they had to do was sit down, and they was putting plaster parachute things on his chest and all that.
Mhm.
It had the doctor over there, and the doctor was going along with that, you know, give him something, but nobody know that. All they did was set him up and let that fluid run out of his lungs or whatever it run out of. And he probably still would have been alive today.
What did your mom pass from?
Uh-huh.
What did your mom pass away from?
I don't know.
Mm. You
I,
ever wonder?
yeah, I went about all that stuff. Yeah, man, I started to drink. I used to drink and, you know, do drugs or something like that, like these other people were doing.
Mhm. What
But
was the drug of the time? Like what was everybody doing?
no,
Weed.
the, 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 the time that I do this, I think it was the marijuana,
Ah.
and I didn't. And the deal with me is that God always looked out for me because he knew I was stupid. And he always looked out for me.
Mhm.
He said, because I got rid. Now see my hand
Yes.
and my neck and stuff like that. They're small.
Yeah.
They're not big. And the deal is when I was coming up to high school, I went up to I told you I played trumpet,
Mhm.
and
Why you picked the trumpet?
I don't know. I don't know. It just
It just happened.
it's- well, I saw Louis Armstrong
Mhm.
play, but the truth of the matter, I didn't like the way Louis Armstrong played. You know, because it seemed like he was, you know, didn't didn't seem like he respected the black people.
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, let me finish. You see,
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
no, I'm just saying these. See, I was looking at it the wrong way because I didn't know, you know, and nobody taught me how to do that. Everybody, but I come up most of the people that I was around. See, I was looking up.
My bad. I was just checking. Keep going.
And most people that I was hanging out with,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know. I ain't gonna say most people, but most of them was trying to hold the race up, not bring it down. And I didn't reckon with my problem is I didn't
You know who that is?
I think so. I know who his wife was. Wife that I do. Yeah, I had
Didn't you like a singer? Oh yeah. Mhm.